Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom, and it's our Discovery unit for today. And we're talking about some kind of candid camera sort of like program that is on Discovery Channel. It's not called Candid Camera. This particular show is called Outrageous Acts of Psych, which again is kind of like a candid camera show. If you're not familiar with that term, candid camera is a program where they would have a hidden camera out in public somewhere and they'd play pranks on people, present a kind of situation and see if they would get embarrassed by that situation or something like that. People dressed up like trees or something and they'd jump out and scare them or stuff like that. Various things they would do. And that program was famous in the United States many years ago, and it also had versions in like Australia and England and stuff.
Yeah,
and I think
it was pretty popular.
I think maybe about 10 years ago, there was one from Quebec that I often saw on TV here in Taiwan, showing these pranks and stuff like that. So this particular show is similar on Discovery Channel, but it's called Outrageous Acts of Psych, which we'll explain in just a second.
Yeah. I remember Candid Camera when I was really young. I thought it was pretty funny. It's fun to see what happens when people don't know they're being filmed and they're being asked to do kind of crazy stuff. But a candid photo is just when you take a picture of somebody without them knowing. They're not posing for you, right? They're not waiting for you to take their picture. You just kind of snap it to get like a real feel of that person. It's kind of an informal photo. We're going to go through what some of these programs are like for the next 2 days. But first, guys, we're going to read through today's lesson. Hidden camera shows have been entertaining audiences since the late 1940s. Shows like Candid Camera and Just for Laughs depict real-life individuals coming across unexpected situations. The ways in which people react to these unusual situations are often hilarious. Since hidden camera shows have been immensely popular for decades, the public's interest in them has been the focus of psychological study for some time. As it turns out, hidden camera shows themselves are a great source for psychological analysis. One such show is Discovery Channel's Outrageous Acts of Psych. By using hidden cameras to film people in outrageous, candid situations, the show's resident brain experts analyze human behavior and gain insight into the complex human psyche. These humorous pranks then translate into amusing and informative television programming for the rest of us. In one episode, the psychologists considered the effects that wealth can have on human behavior. In an ordinary laundromat, the producers use velvet ropes to create a VIP area. An imposing bouncer keeps people out of the area until they've paid the $5 entrance fee. The velvet ropes and bouncer are seen as status symbols, and these visual cues trick people into believing that the washing machines are exclusive and reserved for the elite. Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser considers paying for VIP treatment a natural response, no matter how ordinary the treatment actually is. According to Kaiser, as human beings, we seek rewards. In receiving VIP treatment, we get a social reward when others observe that treatment taking place. This perceived status elevates us in our own minds, even when the only actual benefit we get is the ability to do our laundry behind a rope.
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to discuss the contents of today's lesson. The title is Getting Candid on Outrageous Acts of Psych. And we've mentioned this word candid for a couple of reasons. Of course, this show that we're talking about is very similar to an old show called Candid Camera. Candid usually means straightforward, truthful and stuff. Please, let me be candid with you for a second. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to come straight to the point immediately. I'm going to be candid with you. But here on this particular program, Outrageous Acts of Psych, we are getting candid. We're being like Candid Camera, that old TV show, and we're actually being candid as well. We're trying to do some psychological experiments on people to show us the truth about the human mind.
Yeah, I see that word psych, Tom, and I think of the very popular TV show called Psych. There were two friends that solved mysteries together. They worked with the police, and one guy pretended he could read people's minds, or he got special info through his brain. He was just smart at looking at clues, but he fooled everybody into thinking he had some magic psych ability. So that was what brought to mind the show Psych. But otherwise, I haven't used this word myself.
Yeah, it's usually the form of something like psychology, psychiatrist, or psychic. I'm a psychic. I want to be a psychic and read your mind, for example. And also, it's part of a phrase like to psych yourself up, for example.
Or psych yourself out, too, which means you get so excited and so, you're just too excited so you don't do very well. If she psyched herself out, just mean you got so excited you didn't do well. You can be too excited if you compete, and then your nerves get the best of you. But if you want to psych yourself up, you get yourself excited to do something. Yeah, we use that a lot with slang.
But let's talk about this show in just a second as we go into our article here. So the first paragraph says, hidden camera shows have been entertaining audiences since the late 1940s. So again, Candid Camera in the United States and elsewhere is all about a hidden camera somewhere. And these are shows, and they've been entertaining audiences for quite some time. To entertain means to basically make people feel relaxed, to give them a good time and stuff like that, especially if they've been working really hard all week long and they hate their job and they're under family pressure and stuff like that. When Friday night comes around, they just want to go out and see a movie and be entertained by someone. They want to forget about all their troubles. And these programs have been around since the late 1940s. And you do see hidden camera shows or hidden camera pranks on local variety shows here in Taiwan. I've seen those as well. A hidden camera inside a car, for example, and a sexy girl is trying to tempt the guy or something like that, and there's a hidden camera there. These kinds of shows are all over the place.
Oh, yeah, they really are. So we've got Candid Camera as an example, and Just for Laughs, another show that sets up these funny situations for people who aren't aware that they're being filmed. They depict real-life individuals coming across unexpected situations. That's how they're describing the setup of the show. Depict is very close to the word portray. So if you depict something, you represent it. You could do that by drawing something, by taking a picture, by acting. You could use words or visuals, but we've got these real-life people. They're not actors. They aren't comedians. They're just people going about their own everyday lives who run into these situations that have been set up to be funny to the audience who are watching them. If you come across something, guys, it means you kind of bump into it. It wasn't something you planned on as you were going along, the street. You kind of run into something, come across. So it wasn't something they expected to actually encounter, but they do. So it leads to funny situations.
And the ways in which people react to these unusual situations are often hilarious. They might be really shocked. Gee, how could you be doing that? I'm so embarrassed and stuff like that. So if you're watching that and you know what's going on, if you know they're being pranked, then they will seem extremely funny. They will be hilarious. Hilarious is just a word to describe something that really makes you laugh. Did you see that movie? It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing and had to be kicked out of the theater.
Right. So since hidden camera shows have been immensely popular for decades, the public's interest in them has been the focus of psychological study for some time. If something's immensely popular, it just means extremely, or to a large degree, to a great degree. So it's true, because I remember when I was just a little girl, my parents liked to watch Candid Camera. The public's interest in these shows have really led the psychologists out there, people who study human behavior, are psychiatrists and psychologists. And so they've actually been watching these shows to get a better idea about how human beings react, their behavior, what makes people do the things they do in certain situations. Psychological is the study of human behavior, your psychology. And it has to do with your mind, how you perceive things, how your mind takes in information, and then how you actually behave then from how your mind processes something. So if you're a psychologist, you probably meet with people and they tell you about their lives and their stories, and you try to help them, change their behavior so they're happier.
But because these hidden camera shows have been immensely popular for decades, so we're getting psychologists involved and they're conducting studies on human behavior. They've been extremely popular, immensely popular, and psychological. We've been talking about that word, but that's the adjective here, a study that involves psychology. And as it turns out, hidden camera shows themselves are a great source for psychological analysis. So yes, indeed, if you are a researcher and you're gathering data, you're gathering information, then you want to analyze that data. You want to look it over. You want to see what it means. You want to make some conclusions, and that's part of your analysis. Analysis, again, is looking over the information and making some conclusions and maybe giving some advice in the process.
Yeah, that's right. Before we move on to the next paragraph, guys, we're going to take a quick break, listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back.Hello
everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到在第一段的中间，它的句子写着 Since hidden camera shows have been immensely popular for decades, the public's interest in them has been the focus of psychological study for some time. 这个句子很长，首先来看到 since 在这里呢是解释成为因为，由于呢这个隐藏的摄影机节目 Hidden Camera Shows 一直以来呢在这几十年以来非常受到欢迎。我们看一下时间的副词是 for decades， 表示呢是几十年来，以前到现在一直都这样子，所以我们的时态搭配的呢就是现在完成式 have been immensely popular。Immensely 在这里当作副词，解释成为极大的，很怎么样，非常受到欢迎，所以大众呢对于他们的兴趣呢就一直以来是这个心理学的研究重点。我们来看一下 psychological， 要注意一下它的重音节的部分，解释成为心理学家的，而我们常常提到的心灵的创伤就可以说 psychological scar，而做某件事情的最适当时机，我们可以称之为 the psychological moment。接着来看到后面的句子，继续说到 As it turns out, hidden camera shows themselves are a great source for psychological analysis。结果啊，你会发现呢，这个隐藏摄影机节目的本身themselves 就是心理学分析一个很好的来源。首先来看到 turn out 这个片语呢，解释成为发展为怎么样的结果的意思。结果你会发现呢，虽然大家对于这样的节目很有兴趣，事实上这个节目本身就可以是心理学分析的一个很好的来源。我们来看一下这个名词 analysis， 也是要注意一下它的重音节在第二音节 analysis， 解释成为分析、解析的意思。举个例子来说 The manager was very pleased by John's analysis of the situation. 经理呢非常满意 John 对这个情势的分析。他的动词 analyze A-N-A-L-Y-Z-E 在第二段就会看到。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.And And we're back. We're talking about getting candid on outrageous acts of psych. The Discovery Channel's program is actually called Outrageous Acts of Psych. We started our program by talking about different hidden camera shows that have been around through time. They've been in the public's consciousness since 1940s. So these shows have been going on for a long time. The one I remember as a kid was Candid Camera, and there's another one they talk about here in the article, Just for Laughs. I've never heard of that one, but that doesn't mean anything. What happens is they set up these funny situations for real people who just come along and kind of come across these situations, and then they start getting filmed at that point. Now, after their prank ends, they actually have to get permission from these people to air what happened. Some of the people who come across these situations don't give permission, and so we never see them being in this kind of crazy situation. I think if I were in this situation, I would give permission because it's funny.
Sure, and it's some kind of publicity. People will know about you. Maybe it can result in enhancing your career or something. Who knows? But some people just don't want to be embarrassed. It's too embarrassing for them. So they say, nah, please don't show that. It's too embarrassing. My husband will see that, and he'll think I'm an idiot for falling for something like that. So, yeah, they do probably have to get permission from these people.
Yeah.
So, again, we're talking about these shows, but we're taking it one step further and doing some psychological studies in the program. And one such show is Discovery Channel's Outrageous Acts of Psych. There's the title of our article for today and the title of this program on Discovery Channel. By using hidden cameras to film people in outrageous, candid situations, the show's resident brain experts analyze human behavior and gain insight into the complex human psyche. Ooh, that's a long sentence. So they're using hidden cameras. So by using those cameras to film people in these situations, it can give these researchers something to study, something to look at, something to analyze, and then they can make some conclusions on this. So basically, these are outrageous, candid situations that would not normally be seen in everyday life. And we've got some resident brain experts. So these are resident experts. In this particular case, resident means these are the experts that are always on the show. They're going to be on each episode each week. So they are the resident brain experts, the regulars on the program, and they'll analyze human behavior when they watch these programs, and they will gain insight into the human psyche. If you gain insight into something, you get some valuable information that you just didn't know before.
Now, these humorous pranks then translate into amusing and informative television programming for the rest of us. So we've got these resident brain experts who are trying to analyze what these folks are doing and then turn around and give us some deep meaning into what's going on. Remember, they're setting up these pranks for just ordinary people coming along. A prank is a practical joke. It's not a joke you tell with words. It's a joke that you actually can set up where actions are taking place. There were a lot of pranks when I was in school, like in elementary school and junior high school. Kids would set up pranks to tease other people or sometimes the teachers. And so they examine what's going on and then they translate this into amusing and informative television programming for the people who are watching. When you translate something, you change it from one version to another. Typically, when we use the word translate, we're translating languages, maybe from English into Chinese or vice versa. Here, we're translating into programming. So they take those pranks and then they make those pranks or change them into something that people can enjoy sitting down and watching on their television sets. Now, if it's amusing, it's funny. So that's just another word for being funny. If you amuse someone, you make them laugh. You entertain them. But here, amusing is just an adjective form. And it's also informative. If it's informative, it gives you a lot of information. So maybe you can learn something while you're watching this show and you're not just laughing, but you're learning along with it. That's kind of fun.
Right, so we've got these pranks that are played on people, and then the psychologists kind of analyze the people's reaction. While we're on the word prank, a person who likes to pull pranks on other people is called a prankster. And my current favorite prankster is a French guy by the name of Rémi Gaillard. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
No.
He dressed up as Pac-Man and ran out on a golf course and tried to steal the guy's golf ball or something, and then the guy got really mad and hit him with his golf club.
How?
Or he dresses up like a bat and hangs upside down in an elevator to get the reaction of people as they try to board the elevator. It's pretty funny stuff on YouTube. Check it out. But in any case, we're talking about the show Psych here and the psychologists that analyze human behavior. So here, in one episode of this program, the psychologists consider the effects that wealth can have on human behavior. Wealth means having a lot of money. This is one particular episode, one program of this series. And what they're doing here in this particular show, in an ordinary laundromat, the producers use velvet ropes to create a VIP area. Now, Taiwan doesn't really have so many laundromats. There are some, but laundromats are more popular in the West. It's a place where you can go wash your own laundry. You use coins to put your clothes in a washing machine, and then you sit back and read the newspaper or play with your smartphone while you're waiting, and then you put the clothes in the dryer. And if you're doing a load of laundry at the laundromat, you'll be there for about maybe an hour and a half or so doing your laundry.
Yeah, usually people in big cities go to laundromats, but here in Taiwan, it's very popular to have your own washing machine on your balcony area. I love that. So we've got this ordinary laundromat where there are washers and dryers and seats where you sit down and wait for your laundry to finish. The producers of the television show use velvet ropes to create a VIP area. Velvet is a type of fabric. It's very soft and luxurious. We've also got an imposing bouncer. A bouncer is a big guy who's got big muscles, and he makes sure that only the right people enter a particular place, like a club where people go dancing. He's imposing, so he's kind of scary looking. He's big, and you watch out for him. He keeps people out of the area until they've paid $5 to get in. It's called the entrance fee. Now, remember, a laundromat is not a glamorous place. Usually people who go to the laundromat don't have a lot of money to begin with.
Right, so it'd be surprising if anybody fell for this prank, but he keeps people out and they pay $5 to get into this area. The velvet ropes and bouncer are seen as status symbols, just like an expensive car is a status symbol, or a name brand bag or something by Versace or whatever. Yeah. That's a status symbol. And these visual cues trick people into believing that the washing machines are exclusive and reserved for the elite. So some people may be tricked into believing this. These are visual cues. Visual means having to do with your eyes. A cue is some kind of indication, something that you see that tells you to do something. You may cue the announcer when the camera is turned on by pointing at the announcer. Here's your cue. Now you should start talking. And these people may be tricked into believing that these washing machines are exclusive, which means they're especially for special people. Reserved for the elite. Reserved for means only those people can use them. The elite are, of course, rich people and really smart people.
Now, we've got a psychotherapist named Stacy Kaiser who considers paying for VIP treatment a natural response. Everybody wants to feel like they're a VIP, no matter how ordinary the treatment actually is. It's not anything to be led into this particular area. It's just part of the laundromat. They're not getting any special goodies by getting in. But everyone wants to feel like they're a VIP. So according to Kaiser, as human beings, we seek rewards. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're pursuing. So in receiving VIP treatment, we get a social reward when others observe that treatment taking place. So it's not just getting into the VIP area. It's other people watching us get into the VIP area. For some reason, that makes people happy. They feel important. I'm not into that, but hey, whatever. So this psychotherapist, somebody who watches people's behavior, says that this is what we're looking for, social rewards when others observe or watch that treatment taking place.
That's right. When we buy that expensive BMW or Benz, of course, we want people to look at us and go, wow, you are really special, aren't you? So, indeed, we do want that reward, and this perceived status elevates us in our minds, even when the only actual benefit we get is the ability to do our laundry behind a rope. So, it's perceived status. That's how we see it. Whether it's true is another matter. Elevate means to raise something from a lower level to a higher level. It elevates us in our own minds. We think we're important then, but the only benefit we're actually getting is to wash our clothes behind a rope. The machines are probably still the same.
They
come out the same. The detergent is the same. But what's surprising is some people may actually fall for this gag. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接着要讲的呢，就是 Discovery 频道里面的这个叫做 Outrageous Acts of Psych， 那么就是街头心理的实验。第二段的第二个句子提到 By using hidden cameras to film people in outrageous candid situations, the show's resident brain experts analyze human behavior and gain insight into the complex human psyche。在这里这个句子很长，我们先来看一下这个形容词 outrageous， 比较常解释成为可憎的、粗暴的意思。像有些人很喜欢用一些粗暴的语言，我们就可以说 outrageous language。不过在这里则是指荒诞的、令人吃惊的意思。透过使用隐藏式的摄影机来拍出位于这样的情形，也就是非常荒诞，然后呢来拍摄人们直觉的反应。The show's resident brain experts， 这里的 resident 呢解释成为常驻的，也就是这样子的节目，它有常驻的脑部专家来 analyze 当作动词，分析呢人类的行为，借此呢可以洞察复杂的人类心灵。我们来看一下 insight 其实当作名词，就是有洞察跟对什么有深入了解的意思。在这里做了一个实验，我们在第三段最后一句来看一下 The velvet robes and bouncer are seen as status symbols, and these visual cues trick people into believing that the washing machines are exclusive and reserved for the elite.在这里呢，利用这个呢天鹅绒绳跟保镖把特定的洗衣机呢把它围住，那么它们其实被视为是呢 status symbols 地位的象征。然后这些 visual cues Q 指的呢就是信号跟线索，这些看得见的信号跟线索呢就来欺骗人们去相信后面这样的事情。我们讲到 trick 在这里当作动词 trick somebody into doing something， 也就是呢骗某人去做某事，利用这些呢线索来欺骗人们去相信这些洗衣机是 exclusive 是独有的，而且呢是 reserved for the elite 专门呢保留给精英分子。最后我们来看到最后一段的最后一句提到 This perceived status elevates us in our own minds， 其实这样子察觉所获得的地位呢只不过是让我们在自己心中来提升自我而已。 Elevate 就是有举起升高的意思。 Even when the only actual benefit we get is the ability to do our laundry behind a rope， 尽管其实真正所得到的好处是能够在绳子后方洗衣服而已，其实也只不过在我们心中提升自我而已，并没有其他太多的实际意义。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. But hey, we're going to continue talking about outrageous acts of psych in our next program, so please join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.